Hello, Tiger fans. Thanks for joining us this week on the Perry Thomas Show. Matt Payton in the CU Sports Network studios on the campus of Campbellsville University. The Tigers on the road this past weekend to open up their season with their shortest road trip of the year. Perry Thomas joins us to talk about that matchup with Lindsey Wilson College. Coach, rivalry game right out of the gate, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. That's one I know you'd love to have a do-over. They don't give you mulligans like they do in the golf game. You come up short, but some things to be proud of, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I thought our guys fought hard and played hard throughout the entire game. We came out with some intensity and we came out expecting to win. We just crippled ourselves with some mistakes, and Lindsey took advantage of it, and they made mistakes also, as both teams would in the first game. They just made, less than we did, and we gotta get back in winning. And I just felt like the other night we had the opportunity to win a game against the 13th ranked team in the country, and we just let it go. And part of that was on them, but part of that was on us and the mistakes we made and some critical things that I'm sure we'll talk about as we go.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the numbers from that matchup. Campbellsville falls to Lindsey Wilson 40-24. The final score, Chase Wilson, as you see there for those following along on television, comes in at halftime, kind of sparks the Tiger offense, 16 of 22 for 209 yards and a touchdown pass. Kendon Young, 8 catches, 112 yards receiving. He also added in a rushing touchdown. And then the defense coach, I know this will be one thing you'll love to see there, 4 sacks in that ball game. And Coach, it felt like you could have had a few more. Yeah. There were times guy may have been held, or you may have gotten a knock on Dukes. The quarterback for Lindsey Wilson just couldn't quite bring him to the ground. But last year you finished with just 15 sacks, so that's obviously a number I'm sure you want to improve on this year.
No doubt. We wanted to get after them and get after everyone we play. And, I thought our guys did a great job getting pressure. Obviously he's an experienced quarterback, a big, strong kid, and they run a great system. So you're not going to get to him every time. But I thought we really disrupted their offensive game plan. Much of their scores came on really short fields. I think they had one big, long pass. Other than that, they had short fields to score. But I thought we got after them well, and we have to improve on that. We want to get that quarterback 3-5 times a game.
You put Chase Wilson in at halftime. There was almost an instant spark. He came out and led a scoring drive right out of the gate. What's the sideline feel like in that moment? Because I know there's times, and even these are kids. These are 19, 20-year-olds. They have to go through those moments of, oh boy, this isn't going our way. But then you bring this cat in, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you've got a ball game on your hands.
Well, it was certainly a spark for us, and we needed the spark. We first half, and it's no fault of Chris Lubinsky, who started the game. We were just lethargic on offense. We couldn't get anything going. We opened the drive with the interception that gives them the ball around the 10 to 12-yard line, maybe even closer, and we hold them to a field goal. But still, the whole first half there was no energy. We had a couple of little breakaways in there. I think we went down and kicked a field goal, but there was no big spark. Second half, when Chase went in, we completed some things early, and the energy just picked up. And that's what you want. You want that guy to come in and to light that fuse and give us a spark, and we was able to get it that second half. And I think part of that was Chase. Part of it was some of the adjustments that Coach Garrison and the offensive staff made to give us some more opportunities.
Check your Tiger knowledge here, Coach. The last Tiger to debut with 200-plus yards and at least 1 touchdown. Any idea?
And at quarterback for us?
Quarterback.
I would say probably Jake Russell.
Jake Russell. You got the first one. Here's the second part. The last freshman to do it.
Freshman be Ross Deaton, maybe.
Nate Cooper got him the year after. So Deaton did it in 2008. Deaton was, I asked Kevin Burkhead, Jim Freeman, they both went Deaton. Coop did it the year after at Carson Newman. He threw for a little over 200 and 1 touchdown, but Deaton was my first thought as well. Not a lot Ross couldn't do, and that, a lot of trivia answers go back to Ross Deaton. But Chase Wilson had a nice performance. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. For those of you following along on television, a quick glance at some of these highlights from the ball game here. An early interception. Lubinsky thinks that he's got a free play there, Coach. And we saw that a couple times last year with Josh Davis and Talis Sufia there again. You think you've got a free one. I think maybe he got hit, ball comes out, flutters, and the next thing you know, you talked about it, some of those short fields.
Yeah, you're on a short field to start the game, and in a rivalry game, that's huge, and it gives them all the energy. But, defensively, I thought we stood strong right there and got a big stop and held them to a field goal. And we're coming back churning. We're our guys want to win also, so we're able to come down and kick one through, and I think it tied it up at that point.
Yeah, Lindsey Wilson had the short field, the field goal, and then Keanu Young had a big run here, the first sack of the ball game on Dukes. A couple of guys getting in there. I think Ronald Williams or R.J. Williamson in on that play. Here's their touchdown. Trey Webb just gets beat there to the inside, and then you come back, and this is the drive, I think, Coach, where actually this is the fumble. Kendon coughs one up. You talked about it, some of the turnovers there again. You're in the red zone immediately.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we're playing defense right there. We're back against the wall, and I think defense stood up strong here and was able to hold them to another field goal. And you know, it's not ideal, but, you know, if you're going to turn it over, you got to be able to come back and respond.
And here is the drive where you guys will put it together and get down the football field. Lubinsky hits Jordan Bass, then a big run busted off here by David Richardson's going to put you guys the good side of the 50 here in Lindsey Wilson territory. And then another run by Ormani Zanders, breaks the tackle, spins. We thought he might get into the end zone. You get what amounts to a fourth down here, or excuse me, a third down, Coach, and this is going to end up being a costly play for you guys. Keanu Young comes up short. He also banged up the shoulder on that play, and that will force, I believe, another field goal. Or actually, that was a fourth down.
That was fourth down play. Yeah, that was fourth down play. And, you know, we felt like we could go for it right there, and it just didn't work out for us. And, you know, they were able to come back and respond and get a little short touchdown. And, you know, this is second half. I think Chase comes in and whips it to Kendon, who knows what to do with the football when he gets it.
Kendon in the open space there, a little post or slant. Kendon doing some work, and then Saul Brady comes in. He sees a little bit of time. He had a handful of plays, but he made some nice plays while he was on the field, and then Kendon with a touchdown run. Yeah,
and we got some guys over there, you know, at the running back position that we can play multiple guys. And, you know, I really thought Chase did a good job keeping his wits about him. He made some mistakes, of course, but you can see where he went down to some check downs on some plays. And, you know, it kind of opened up some things. So Zion Kenner making a good jet run, and you can see Chase moving around. And, I mean, just, you know, to start making plays, and Kendon going up getting the football, and that's what you want. And this time, I'm really feeling good about us. I'm really feeling good about our opportunities to win the football game.
Chase Wilson sneaks in, then you hit a two-point conversion here to, I believe that was Dakari Highsmith, catches one out in the flat. Lindsey Wilson comes back on the offensive side of things there, Coach, and you can see a quick start by your defense. And here, Mahari Sturgis just gets beat, and this is the big pass play that you talked about that really hurt.
That was one of the few plays defensively that I thought we gave up, you know, a big play on, and that hurt us. But we come back with a nice kick return, and we're still in the mix. And, you know, they're a championship team, and they want to win also, so they come up with some big plays. But we're grinding here, and we're still there, and hit the freshman right there for a big touchdown. And I think at this point we're just down 3.
27-24 is the score, as Coach mentioned there. You come in, get a hit on Dukes, R.J. Williamson in on that stop for Campbellsville. Lindsey Wilson gets a turnover, I believe, there, Coach.
Well, that was the big series right there where we had the 4th and 18, and we got a penalty, so it made it 4th and 3. They quick kicked on us and punted down to the 3. You know, we turn it over, and they're able to get in, and then they come back and hold us, and we punt to them. They have a big punt return, and they able to come in, and there's a little too many Lindsey Wilson highlights on there for me right there. But, you know, it's just football. That's the way it goes. Critical point in the 4th quarter where we had a kind of a back-to-back-to-back disasters, and it wound up being the difference in the game.
Tigers come up short in that season opener there to Lindsey Wilson. Final score 40-24. We'll step away. This week has changed for the Tigers. They have no matchup with Southeastern due to Hurricane Dorian, so they'll get a week off, an earlier bye than they had expected. Reinhardt comes to town on the 14th. We'll come back. We'll take a quick look around the Mid-South Conference, and then we'll touch base with Coach here on some of the things involving this down week and rescheduling things for Southeastern on the 28th. Stay with us here on the Perry Thomas Show.
Campbellsville Baptist Church, a church where all ages grow in the love of God. From children and youth worship to sports ministry and mission outreach, Campbellsville Baptist Church shares the love of God both in and outside of the sanctuary. Join us for worship on Sunday mornings at 9 and small group Bible study at 10:30. That's Campbellsville Baptist Church, the people of God sharing God's love, because God's love changes the world.
Champion doesn't get days off. It takes determination and drive to realize goals. From long nights to early mornings. From the courts to the classrooms to online. At Campbellsville University, this is why we play. This is how we learn. This is where champions are made. Find your calling for a life change at campbellsville.edu.
Citizens Bank and Trust Company serves the Taylor County area with 3 convenient locations. Our online and mobile options can make your banking experience even easier, with features such as digital wallet, Touch ID login with our mobile app, and online deposits. Mobile banking also gives you the online control of your Citizens Bank debit card. Along with our banking locations, we also offer a no-charge ATM in the Student Commons on the campus of Campbellsville University. Citizens Bank and Trust in Campbellsville. Member FDIC, Equal Housing.
Welcome back, Tiger fans. The Perry Thomas Show continues here on the CU Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we touch base with the head coach, Perry Thomas, about all things Tiger football, including the Mid-South Conference. And, Coach, you guys get involved there in Week 1. Now you'll have a week off, but anything, we'll take a look at some of the scores and things, but anything from Week 1 that really jumped out to you in terms of conference play?
Well, no, I mean, it was a good competitive conference. I mean, obviously Cincinnati Christian got their first ever win, which is huge, and then Thomas More got, they're coming into the league, and Thomas Moore's been a really good D3 football program. They've been a consistent playoff program in D3, and they came in and had a shootout with Kentucky Christian. Kentucky Christian was able to get the win, but all the scores, you never know early who's going to win or lose because you don't know what everybody has coming back, but it seemed like good competitive games.
I think that's one thing that you and I have talked about before, that preseason ranking at the NAI level, you don't really know what everybody has. It's kind of tough to figure all that out. But let's take a look at a quick graphic here from 4 of the Mid-South Conference games that featured NAI opponents. Kaiser gets an upset win on the road at number
nice
24
win.
Dordt. That's a big feather in the hat early.
Yeah, that's huge for them. I mean, that right there puts them into the ranking picture and knocking off the 24th team, ranked team in the country at their field. So that's huge for them. Faulkner
gets the win over Bluefield, 38-19, and then, as Coach mentioned a bit ago, Cincinnati Christian and Coach Zeters get their first win, 20-17 over Warner, and then the KCU Thomas More score. That's not a typo. A basketball game broke out in that one, 54-49. But CCU, Coach, let's touch on that a little bit. That's a program that we've talked about for a few years. You get the right guy in there that can pull in the talent. That's a beautiful place to try to recruit to in terms of that Cincinnati area, and so many different places that you can go to find some football talent. That's a big one to get their first one. Warner now the answer to a trivia question, and that's never what you want.
No, I mean, it's a nice win. Warner has a nice program, and for them to get that victory is a great statement for them, and it's good for them to start winning. Those guys have worked hard, and they deserve some victories. So it's good to see them start winning. And, you look at the Bluefield game. Bluefield is supposed to be really good this year. So that's a nice win for Faulkner right there, because Bluefield was one of the top teams in the Appalachian. So for Faulkner to get that win is really nice for them. And then you still have some teams inside of divisional play, Cumberland's and Georgetown. I don't think they've played yet, so they still they'll get into action this coming weekend. And I guess that kind of goes both ways. You sit back and watch. You have an extra week to prepare. I'm sure that comes in handy too, right out of the gate. Yeah, I mean, one of the benefits of playing and then having a week off, unexpected week off, but still a week off, is that you can go to practice and correct some things now without a game this week. So it's not like we have to do game prep this week. We can go in and work on ourselves even more than we would normally do, and make some corrections, and hopefully get some guys that were waiting on some eligibility things cleared up. Hopefully that'll get cleared up this week, and we'll look a little different when we play Reinhardt. So, I would rather be playing, to be honest with you, so we can stay in that flow of playing. And when you lose, you want to come back and get that taste out of your mouth. But we're going to utilize it and get some things done.
And some schools took to the road and took on some FCS programs.
Yeah.
It's been a few years since the Tigers have done that, 5-6 years since you guys played at Murray. And these scores very unkind for the Mid-South Conference. You can see Morehead State with a big win over Union, 44-7. Murray State knocks off U-Pike, 59-20. Lamar and Bethel, and that's a very good Bethel ball club. Lamar beats 65-16, and then Kennesaw State shuts out Point 59-0. And obviously, Coach, the benefit in these games is the payday for the most part, but you always hate to take a thumping like that.
Yeah, I mean, you get a nice payday, and sometimes they're not nice enough. I know when we went to Murray, we made a little money, but it wasn't worth it. They literally ran the score upon us and tried to beat us as bad as they could. And, sometimes that loss can keep you out of the playoffs because when the Raiders rank, they're not looking at who you lost to or who you beat. They're looking at just your one-loss record. So that loss could keep you out of the playoffs at times. You look at Morehead beating Union, that's a game you could play because Morehead's non-scholarship, so it's a little more balanced. Kennesaw State actually plays Reinhardt here in a couple of weeks. So, and they're one of the top 4 programs in the country at their level. So, you're reaching for that, and the presidents love it, and you love it for your program because it is good money. And your guys love it. They love to play those teams. They get a lot of publicity from it, but it is tough on you come playoff time and sometimes injury time because your Campbell A cap still counts.
And I guess getting it in early in the year is probably better than getting it in later. So that first week and do some things, but getting in later runs a lot more risk, especially with the injuries and different
no
things.
doubt about it. And, our league, the way it is built now, especially in the Bluegrass Division and your interconference games, you're playing a lot of physical teams anyway. And it's not like basketball. Basketball can go play, UK, WKU and get a check and so forth, and they're called exhibition games, and they don't really count. But football, they count against you, and you're risking the injury also. But the money is nice, but somebody's going to have to pay us a lot of money to do it.
If it makes you Tiger fans feel any better, after that Murray game, Coach pretty much swore off those games with some of the FCS programs and different things. Let's step away. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we'll look ahead at the week for the Tigers, also some of the things that they were doing this summer, and there's a big high school matchup in the community this weekend. We'll get Coach's thoughts on that as well. Stay with us here on the Perry Thomas Show.
Campbellsville University Cosmetology teaches beauty inside and out. The cosmetology students at CU receive salon experience while learning in a contemporary environment from faculty who have worked in the industry. With areas of study ranging from hairstyling to salon management, Campbellsville University Cosmetology can help you turn your passion into a profession. Kickstart your cosmetology career today. Visit campbellsville.edu/cosmetology.
Here at Saloma Baptist Church, our mission and ministry extends beyond our walls. We are focused on teaching all ages about the love of Jesus, preparing them for a life of mission. We are committed to serving the local community and the world in the name of Jesus Christ. For more information on service times and mission opportunities, please visit our website at salomabaptist.com. We extend a warm welcome to you and your family here at Saloma Baptist Church.
A champion doesn't get days off. It takes determination and drive to realize goals. From long nights to early mornings. From the courts to the classrooms to online. At Campbellsville University, this is why we play. This is how we learn. This is where champions are made. Find your calling for a life change at campbellsville.edu.
Thanks for staying with us, Tiger fans. The Perry Thomas Show continues here on the CU Sports Network. Matt Payton with you. Thanks for following on television, radio, or even our internet streaming platforms this week as we visit with the head coach of the Fighting Tigers. And Coach, now you guys, we talked on it at the top just briefly. You have the hurricane coming through, Hurricane Dorian, going to hit Florida at some point. So to err on the side of caution, you guys decide the game with Southeastern would be moved back. They canceled a game with, I think, the University of Virginia Lynchburg to make that playable on the 28th. First and foremost, we want to offer our thoughts and prayers to everyone affected. Football is fairly minor in the grand scheme of things, but this changes things for you. There's a lot that has to go into moving a game back and altering these plans. Yeah, no doubt, and it's frustrating. I mean, it's nobody's fault, but we went through it a couple of years ago. I think we went 21 days or 27 days without a game, something like that. And it's frustrating for everyone involved. And they shut down school, I think, Friday midday, and it's out for a week, so there's no way they could practice, and there's no way to predict what the hurricane's actually going to do. And there's a lot of logistics involved. So, we had to call the hotel in Macon, where we're staying on Thursday night, and try to rearrange those plans, and the hotel in Lakeland and try to rearrange those plans. Also the drivers and the bus company. So there's a lot that goes into it. Fortunately, they were all able to accommodate us for the 28th that weekend, and hopefully things will work out where we can play the game. You don't want to miss the game, though. What goes into that conversation? I'm sure you're talking with their football coach and athletics director down there. Is there, the conversation, do you have them come up here? Do you meet somewhere else? So what all goes into that conversation, or was this one simply, look, we're not going to be able to do anything, and that's that? Yeah, in this case, I just let the athletic directors handle it, and it was just one of those things of what's best for them at that moment. And on Thursday, we reached out to them to find out what the plans were, and I think Friday, Coach Hardy, Jim Hardy, athletic director, and theirs got together and talked, and Eric Ward from the league was involved in it a little bit, and decision was made, look, we're going to have to shut down school because of the unknown. So we know we can't do it then, but we both have an open date on the 28th, so let's do it then. And so it was real simple this time. A few years ago, it wasn't quite as simple. Warner was supposed to come to us. We were supposed to go to Ave Maria. It was a quagmire. It was a mess. But I think the league and everyone kind of learned at that moment, and it wasn't just us. It was some other teams involved too. At that moment, had to make some adjustments. And there was even a point you guys were going to try to get a game with Bluefield. So a few years ago, it was much messier. This one much cleaner due to the fact that you did have that date on the 28th. So keep that in mind. That's September 28th. The Tigers will go to Lakeland, Florida to battle Southeastern. Still a 7 o'clock kickoff for that football game down in Florida on the 28th. Of course, the Tigers' next matchup comes on the 14th against Reinhardt. That the home opener. Coach, let's talk about, let's back up a little bit. You guys, we didn't get to touch on this last week in our first show of the season, but you had a coaching clinic on campus this summer that I did want to get to. You've got a lot of Tiger alumni to come back, a lot of guys that have put on that maroon headgear, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears at Finley Stadium for those gentlemen. And that's pretty cool to get them to come back. And what was the thought process? What went into that to make this first one happen and to get this thing up off the ground? Well, it was something that we actually tested a few years ago, just on a small level. You're always looking for ways to get the alumni back. And from my standpoint, I'm not looking for them to come back and give donations and so forth. I'm sure the school would love that, and we wouldn't turn anything down, but that's not the point. The point is you want them involved in this program. And you've had 4 basic different regimes here now. You had the Coach Finley years, which was the most, and then you had the Coach Peach years, when Coach Peach actually played here, and then the Coach Deaton years, and then I've been here. This is my 12th year. So, we always want to marry those, because at the end of the day, we're all fighting Tigers. So we just thought about ways we could do that. A few years ago, Rick Garrison and I talked about it, and Rick reached out to some guys on a small scale just to see how it would go, and we had a good turnout. So this year, I let Rick run the whole thing. I didn't get involved at all, and he reached out and put this thing together, and it was a great turnout. There's no ideal time to do it because all those guys are coaching, and some of them are traveling a long way, so that's during their dead period. We're in high school football, so they got some vacation and stuff. But we was able to get quite a few comeback coaches and players from the program to come back and to enjoy, a good day of
fellowship and also clinic and talking football. And, the great thing about it is there's so many of them that's an automatic network for coaches. And that's what my point to them is. Not only are you, can come back and be part of this program, but it's automatic network. So even if you don't know someone, but you're looking to learn about how to defense the wing T or how to run the triple option or whatever, or how to deal with character and all these things, there's a whole group of people that you can contact that your common interest is you're both, CU alumnus. And now you have a network that you can go to and clinic with and mentor with and learn from. And, it's just a blessing. Many of the guys that play for me are out there coaching. Many of the guys that play for the other coaches throughout history, and Campbellsville is known for that, has put coaches out everywhere. So it's great to have those guys to come back. Had a great group of speakers that did a tremendous job, and we're going to try to continue to do this every year.
And you've got some guys that have been placed fortunate enough to be in some pretty nice jobs. They've earned that, but some guys, Florida State, Louisville, and different places.
Yeah.
So that Tiger network obviously reaches to the highest levels of college football. And I'm sure that information now, the networking is one thing, but information is probably a lot easier to come by on stopping a wing tee or doing some of those things than when you were starting in this game several years ago.
I ain't no doubt about it. We used to be, you had to be face to face with people, or the old phone, rotary phone, and now everything's online and emails and text messages and stuff. So clinic and even used to be clinics you had to go live. Now, there's clinics of me speaking from 10 years ago that you can find, online and so forth. But it was great. Shadon Brown came back from the University of Louisville, and Sherrod Everett from Florida State. And those guys are busy in the summer, camps and everything else. But this program and this university means so much to them that they were able to come back and deliver that day. Mark Peach, head coach at Anderson County, former head coach here. Mark has played for state championships. He's had Mr. Football winners. Had success here as a coach, and he came back and spoke. Steve Lovelace, Christian County High School, Stephen Hatchell at Mayfield, two of the storied programs of the state, came back and spoke. And I'm probably missing somebody, but those guys, just for those guys to take time out of their summer to come back and be part of this university. And we appreciate the university and Dr. Carter and everyone opening their arms to those guys and getting them back. And we had many former coaches that came back and was able to fellowship and see some of the guys that they hadn't seen in years.
Before we let you go, Coach, big crosstown rivalry game this weekend, the high school level, Campbellsville, Taylor County. You coached in this thing many times. Doesn't matter how far removed you get or, you move away, this game still remains. It's an important one for the community and should be a lot of fun this time over at Taylor County once again.
Yeah, once again, two teams that are very talented, both of them coming off of regional championships and semifinal appearances, and both of them well coached and good wealth of talent on the field. These last couple of years, you're seeing two of the more talented teams at one time. When I was here, we had some very talented teams, and Taylor had a few very talented teams, but it was very few times when both teams were just really talented together. And, these last couple of years, you're seeing that. And this year, you'll see a lot of talent on the field Friday night and guys that will go to the next level and play. And this game does mean something to the community, but it's always healthy and should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to watching it.
And you got some former Tigers will be coaching in that game as well. John Shooning, I know at Taylor County, and help me if I forget someone. Dale Estes spent time here coaching tight ends. Robbie Gribbons, former Tiger linebacker. Will Griffin. Did I get them all? Is that four? Did I leave anybody out?
Yeah, Aaron Webb, who played, he played here a little bit. He's at Campbellsville High School, and I don't know. It might be somebody else in there. And, one of the blessings for me when I watch it is, of course, those guys play for me too. John over here, and then the other guys over at Campbellsville High. So I have a lot of interest in the game also. And, it's always a fun game. So, the good thing about rivalry games is they're played once a year and then you move on. And that's what people have to be able to do is move on to the next game. You can't let the win or the loss affect you for the rest of the season.
And we'll carry that game on 88-7 the Tiger. Zach Wilson will be on the call for that one between the Eagles and Cardinals on Friday night. The Tigers turn their attention to a September 14th home opener with Reinhardt University. Coverage for that one begins at 1 p.m. Kickoff 1:30. The Tiger Tailgate Show will hit the air at 1 p.m. and then kick off for the Tigers and Eagles at 1:30 on the 14th, the home opener for Campbellsville. That'll do it this week. We'll see you next time here on the Perry Thomas Show.